This is Dubai Today.
Ministry considers new law on fake products is a story that we're looking at this morning, which has now gotten a couple of people looking into or giving their opinions. Thank you for doing so. Fake goods are good for the economy. They increase competition and limit monopoly.
Okay, stop your train of thought. What do you think about that? Okay, let's take in separate components. Fake goods are good for the economy. Agree or disagree?
Disagree.
Okay, argue the point.
The point being this, right? You want to have, let's use Louis Vuitton. We've already dropped their name in there, so right. it's in the mix as we speak. Yeah. Why do you want that exclusive luxury designer handbag? You want it because it's exclusive. You want it because it's luxury. Why is it luxury?
It's prestigious.
Because everybody
it means
is using
something.
It? No.
It means something. No. It's prestigious. It means something.
It means something.
In other words, you've immediately by purchasing that Louis Vuitton bag from a street vendor, you've automatically gone from somebody with, say, may potentially have a low income to somebody who is perceived as having somebody with a high income or relatively wealthy. Now, that's assuming those people who buy from street vendors are people on low income. It could very well be the same that people who don't want to afford that could be on middle income.
Okay, so someone who spends the money, on a luxury item such as, and again we use Louis Vuitton, they've spent the money on that, and then they walk down the street and then they see, wait a minute, all these other people have the bag. The same bag I bought, same bag I've just spent, maybe 6, 7, 10,000 dirhams on. Why did I spend 6, 7, 8, 10,000 dirhams on a bag that now it seems everybody can afford? That doesn't make it exclusive anymore. So wait a minute, I'm not going to buy another Louis Vuitton bag the next time I go out. I'm going to buy a different brand.
What does it say
about? Then Louis Vuitton then suffers. They then lose business, and then that could have a negative effect on them, and knock wood, it doesn't, that they end up going out of business, and then these fake dealers are going, oh, well, they're gone. Let's move on to another person.
What does it say about an individual that says, I'm exclusive, you're not? Pause for a moment again. Let's go back to the phone lines. Good morning. You're live on the programme. Good morning.
Good morning. Is that Dubai Eye?
It is, yes.
Is it possible to make comment about the fake goods that they're talking about at the moment?
Yeah, please do.
Hello?
Hi,
yes, you're live on the programme. Please go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't realise.
That's all right. No, don't worry. You're live on the station. The whole of Dubai can hear you now.
Well, just listening to me in Dubai, how fantastic. I was listening to you talk about fake goods just now and saying that it's no good for the person who can afford the real thing. My name's Debbie, by the way, sorry.
Thanks, Debbie. Good morning.
And I agree with you to a large extent. Yes, it isn't right to counterfeit, but it's also a great form of flattery, I think. And for those who can't afford the goods, they can advertise Louis Vuitton, as you mentioned, and any of the other products for those people. We know that at the end of the day, the trendsetters are celebrities who go out with the latest in whatever it is, the handbags, the watch, the sunglasses. And also, here in Dubai, I think there is a great boost to the economy with the fakes because people actually do travel to Dubai simply to do the fake shopping.
Well, look, let me just kind of go back, because before you came on the line, I asked Wes, what does it say about an individual who wants to be exclusive? Let's take Victoria Beckham, for want of a better celebrity that everyone knows, and she probably wears, I don't know, Dolce & Gabbana or Valentino, and then probably carries Louis Vuitton, Dolce & Gabbana sunglasses, whatever. I mean, you just said flattery. It's a great compliment. So do you not think that people who want to look like Victoria Beckham or want to look like a wannabe celebrity would want to try and, have those items, but they can't afford those items? So what do? They buy the fake items to look like their role model. Mm-hmm. Is that wrong?
I don't think so. I think we all for certain folks, if you've got a low self-esteem and it inspires you and brings you, makes you feel good to try and look like someone who you consider an icon or to admire and respect. I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all.
That was my point in terms of posing that to Wes, in the sense that what does it say about the mindset of a person that's saying exclusive? Then those people who can't afford, will never be able to afford that kind of those kind of bags, will then say, look, I'm getting some joy out of being, looking the part. I'm bringing some happiness to my life. Okay, they're not real goods, but to me it makes me feel good.
Yeah, and the celebrity has a huge ego boost as well from that.
Yeah.
And I think they also sit there as well and say, they kind of suck it up and say, well, I know I've got the real thing. And you can tell, I bought a couple of bits and pieces, and you can tell straight away it's not the real thing. The quality of the workmanship isn't necessarily that great, although it's improving in some countries where they produce counterfeit goods. But I know I'm not carrying the real thing, and certainly somebody who's got the real Louis Vuitton bag or the Louis Vuitton, the Gucci sunglasses or whatever it is they're wearing, they know. And they don't need to prove anything. They're quite, at one with themselves and the products that they've got and they're wearing.
Now, Debbie, if I can ask you a question, what line of industry are you in?
I'm in the line of full-time stay-at-home mum industry.
Well, there we go.
And fundraising.
Now, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. When you travel with your family, right?
Yeah.
Who are very precious to you, and that's not in question. And you're traveling with your family in an airplane with either a General Electric engine or a Rolls-Royce engine. Those are the two major manufacturers for airplane engines. Do you want to know that they have genuine parts in them or fake parts in them? I'm using an extreme example.
I think there's a as Akal was saying, there's a sort of compartmentalisation of this fake discussion, because certainly I think when it comes to health and safety issues, you want the genuine, tested product.
But let's take a look at health and safety, or when it comes to employment of people. What about the people who work at Louis Vuitton, whose bags are being, who are making the genuine bags, but they're being ripped off, and that their sales are going down because...
Are they actually going down, though?
That's a good point. I mean, there's nothing... I know, for example, in Paris, they limit the number of people who can come into the store, and they limit the number of purchases of Louis Vuitton products, actually. And there are famously Japanese tourists queue up outside the store in Paris wanting to buy that. So they actually pay people to go in and buy things on their behalf. Wes?
Yeah.
No, I'm sure...
Hermes are the same. I think Hermes have a huge long waiting list for their bags. For people who can buy the real thing, which, effectively I could go out and buy a small car for the equivalent of. But I do question whether the sales of those kind of goods are affected by counterfeits, or whether they're just getting some great advertising. Yeah. They're fulfilling people's lives who need that kind of thing in their life. Yeah. Louis Vuitton sits pretty, still selling to the people who want to, because there are people who will not buy counterfeits. As much as there are people who won't buy the real thing because simply can't afford it.
Let's talk about it, because the Louis Vuitton we talked about, because famously we see a lot of people, with a lot of street vendors carrying Louis Vuitton bags as an example. And as you said, are the sales of Louis Vuitton actually going down, or are they getting free publicity? I think quite the latter. And I think it's if it brings joy and happiness to someone's life, then counterfeit goods. And I'm not advocating counterfeit.
And it's bringing an income and a life.
Well, you say that because in today's
and sell it.
Luxury goods are the ones that are being affected now by the economic downturn. For a lot of, this is what's being called into question. People are, I look at, what am I buying right now? I'm not wanting to buy anything right now because I'm waiting to see what's happening. So I'm not in necessarily running out there and buying Louis Vuitton, though I wouldn't necessarily want to spend that kind of money on a product like that.
No, exactly.
But, this is, if you listen to the news reports, you're hearing luxury goods they're having to reevaluate.
Yeah.
Now, as these people, you're looking at jobs.
Yeah,
if people start losing their jobs because of fake goods, what would your opinion be then?
Obviously, frankly, if people started to lose their jobs because fake goods were taking over, because it was really affecting those that would normally buy it, then yes, I agree with you. It is something that maybe it needs some form of control in the amounts of, fake that's produced.
It's ironic.
Currently, I think, I just feel that most luxury goods are, the prices of everything. You could go to, you could link this topic to rent and the price of property here in Dubai, which is astronomical.
I was just going to say, Debbie, it's going to be ironic in terms of using Wes's example. If, say, for example, a factory in China is producing the legitimate Louis Vuitton bags, and the next town up the road, they're actually producing the fake items. But unfortunately, if those people are losing their jobs, then the first casualties will be the people producing the Louis Vuitton bags are the same people who are trying to buy them from the street vendor. Sense of irony there in life. But,
absolutely.
Debbie, listen, thank you for your call. Thanks so much.
Pleasure. Sorry about the balls up at the beginning.
That's all right, don't worry about it. You have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.